Welcome back to the A2Ron channel. This is going to be a new little series called What's Rattling in My Brain. It's going to be a little bit of a deep dive of what my hyperfixation is of the week, of the month, of the whatever time frame I want it to be. So today we are talking about something with old school graphics, old school feel, but a little bit of a new school spin. So today we are talking about old school RuneScape and the reasons why it keeps drawing me in it and I can't put it down. First, before we get into it, put a comment down below with your RuneScape username if you want to, and I'll add you to my friends list and we can start a clan if we so choose, or raid, or hang out, or bank stand, whatever you want to do. And let me know when the first time you started playing old school RuneScape was, if you have ever. Alrighty, well, let's get into it. The first reason why I think RuneScape keeps pulling me back in is the sense of accomplishment you get. And how easy it is to set goals, accomplish them, and then just transition to another goal. Elite Void gear, for instance, for raiding. You need the hard Western Province diaries, which, looking at the list here, also requires you to get 69 hunter. You need to get 70 mining and do a bunch of quests and 68 farming and all that. So each one of those things is another individual little task you have to divide up and work towards. So you're always doing something and feeling that sense of accomplishment with, I'm getting closer to my goal here. And then once you complete, say, Western Province Diary, you still have to do pest control to be able to get the void gear at all. Anyway, everything kind of feeds into itself with a sense of accomplishment, and that is part of what keeps me coming back. The second main thing that I think really keeps me motivated is the idea that the game mechanics are simple to kind of understand, but difficult to master. So the first thing I want to kind of highlight is the movement mechanics. Movement works a little different than you might think. Your character isn't always being registered by the game as where your character shows up on the screen. So without going too in-depth, it's because of how movement speed works. But once you start delving into the mechanics of the game, you start seeing all these little intricacies that you can work on and improve and practice at. Like I'll put some footage of me doing the Hallowed Sepulchre and then maybe someone else doing higher levels of it, but there are levels to your understanding of how the game mechanics work. And as you start going down the rabbit holes of each of these things, then it just keeps pulling you back in again. So yeah, that is the second thing. I think the third thing, probably do three with maybe another little thing at the end here. So the third thing that I think is something that really keeps me coming back into RuneScape is honestly just the monkey brain. So like, getting a bunch of experience, the XP drops, the hit splats on when you're doing combat, the drops, the suspense when you kill a monster and it's in its dying animation and you're waiting for that drop, and then or the little pop-up for a collection log for a new drop that you wanted, or whatever it may be. There's just all those little monkey brain, lizard brain, whatever you want to call it, kind of factors to it that just keep you coming back, and you just want to keep getting that drop. You want to try to keep grinding this boss to get this drop. And then some things you can just do it with your friends too, so you can do boss group raiding, and then everybody's got a job, and then you can work on your switches and your everything. The switching is another thing that goes back into my second topic, with the combat being a little deeper than you may think for it being old school RuneScape. So you can have a 6-way switch from full melee to full range to full magic, and then you have to switch between those during the same boss fight, so that you can hit it with what it's weak to, or the only thing that can hurt it, such as Olm's head. You can only hit one hand with magic, one hand with mage, and his head can only be hit with range. So you've got to have enough gear and be quick enough to switch between the things to be able to kill the boss correctly. One last thing I just want to kind of throw at the end here is, it doesn't really fit with anything that I've already come up with, but it's one reason why I like RuneScape is The development team puts out polls in-game without having to necessarily go to a different browser unless you want to read some more information about things. There is just so many things that they put out for polls to vote on, and it's got to reach a certain percentage, and if it doesn't, it just doesn't go in the game. And if you want to read the blog post, there's links in the game that'll send you back to the blog post, or what I would recommend is to look up some of your favorite old school RuneScape streamers and content creators, because they do a lot of information on polls coming up or changes or update lists and whatnot. And that there's just so many ways to play the game too. You can do Iron Man, you can do main, you can do Ultimate Iron Man, Hardcore Iron Man, where if you die, your stats are frozen right where you died, and you can get moralized on a Twitter thread about Hardcore Iron Man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, sorry this video is going to be kind of all around out there, but that is the idea of the video, of being what's rattling around in my brain, where I just kind of want to talk and just kind of vent stuff and maybe get somebody interested in the stuff that I'm interested in, so we can have a conversation about it. And once again, I will ask, when was the last time you played old school RuneScape? When did you, have you ever played it? Or what's your RuneScape name, so we can have fun and raid together? Put those down in the comments below, but for right now, you guys need to get out of here because this is an XP waste. Bye.